It was meant to be just another lonely Friday night for Emma Clark. One of those evenings where the city lights seemed to mock her from afar, and laughter from passing couples echoed like music she could never quite dance to. The rain had started early, a soft drizzle at first, but soon the sky turned into a sheet of weeping grey. The streets shimmered with reflections, and the faint rumble of thunder mirrored the heaviness in her chest. Emma curled up on her couch, still wearing the soft lavender sweater she had bought weeks ago, the one she had planned to wear tonight. Her phone glowed beside her, filled with messages from someone named Ryan. She had met him online 2 weeks earlier through a friend's suggestion. He seemed kind, thoughtful, and funny in those small ways that made her laugh after long, draining days. They had agreed to meet for coffee at a small downtown cafe. But now, as she watched the rain blur the window, Emma couldn't bring herself to go. Her heart had been broken too many times. Sweet beginnings always ended in silence. Words were said, but no one ever truly saw her. With trembling fingers, she typed, "I'm sorry, Ryan. I can't do this tonight." She hit send before changing her mind, tossed her phone aside, and tried to breathe through the ache that followed. Hours passed. The storm outside grew louder. Emma sat in silence, sipping cold tea, staring at nothing. Beyond her window, the world moved effortlessly, while she remained trapped in quiet grief. Then came a knock. At first, she thought she imagined it. It was almost midnight, and no one ever came this late. The knock came again, firmer this time. Heart racing, she approached the door. Through the peephole, she saw him, Ryan. Rain-soaked, holding a bouquet of white lilies wrapped in simple paper. Petals glistened with raindrops. His hair stuck damply to his forehead, yet he smiled a gentle, uncertain smile, heavy with unspoken words. Emma froze. She had cancelled. Why would he come? Finally, she opened the door, and words refused to leave her lips. Ryan looked at her softly, careful not to scare away a fragile bird. "You cancelled," he said quietly, calm and warm. "But something told me I should still come. Not to force you, just to tell you it's okay." Her throat tightened. In that moment, she remembered something she had long forgotten. Not everyone leaves when things get uncertain. Some people show up anyway. She stepped aside, motioning him in. The air between them was quiet but alive with something tender, human. She brought him a towel and a cup of tea, the same one she had been sipping earlier. They sat together, rain filling the silence, and for the first time in months, Emma didn't feel alone. Ryan didn't question her cancellation or make her feel guilty. Instead, he told her a story about his mother. Kindness isn't a transaction. It's a choice you make without expecting anything back. I figured maybe you just needed someone to show up without expectations tonight. The words broke something inside her, a wall she hadn't realized she had built. Tears came before she could stop them. Ryan didn't offer clichés, he simply sat quietly, giving her permission to feel everything she had buried for so long. The storm softened, replaced by a gentle mist. Hours slipped away unnoticed. They spoke of books, walking under city lights, and life's unexpected gifts when we stop running. By dawn, Emma realized she hadn't felt this kind of peace in years. Days turned into weeks. Emma and Ryan met often, sometimes for coffee, sometimes in silent walks. He had a way of making her feel safe without demanding anything. Yet the closer he got, the more afraid she became. One evening, by the riverside, she confessed the truth. She had once been engaged, abandoned a week before the wedding. She stopped believing in promises, pushing people away whenever they got too close. Ryan didn't interrupt. He listened without judgment. When she finished, he said softly, "I'm not asking you to promise anything, Emma. Just let me walk beside you for as long as you'll let me." The words sank deep. She reached for his hand, the first time since her world fell apart. But fate has a way of testing fragile hope. Weeks later, Ryan stopped replying. Days passed, and her old fears returned. Was she too broken, too hesitant, too much? On the 6th day, unable to bear the silence, she went to the cafe where they had planned to meet. She waited for hours, watching people come and go, before walking home under a grey sky. At her door, a small envelope waited. Inside was a handwritten note. "Emma, I'm sorry for my absence. My father's been in the hospital. I didn't want to bring my chaos into your calm, but I promise I'll come by as soon as he's better. Ryan. Tears blurred her vision. He hadn't disappeared. He was quietly fighting his own battle, just as she had once fought hers. That night, she went to the hospital, found his room, and held his hand. From then on, they faced everything together. Emma brought him home-cooked meals and small comforts. The hospital became a place of quiet strength, not sorrow. Ryan's father recovered slowly, and when discharged, Ryan said, "I never believed much in fate until the night you cancelled. Maybe, love begins with what doesn't happen." Months later, on a crisp autumn morning, Ryan arrived at her door not with lilies, but a single white daisy, her favorite. No plans, no pressure. Just breakfast and a walk. She smiled, remembering that rainy night when she almost let fear steal a chance at happiness. "Just breakfast and a walk," she said. And that's how their love grew, not in grand gestures or perfect moments, but through quiet choices, showing up when it mattered. Sometimes the smallest steps change everything. Sometimes beginnings come disguised as endings. Sometimes love doesn't wait, you simply hear a soft knock, and all it takes is opening the door. If this story touched your heart, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Silent Hope. Have you ever had someone show up for you unexpectedly? Tell us in the comments.